What if I told you the next global war has already begun? Not officially, not declared, but silently, strategically, and dangerously. Missiles are flying, oil routes are collapsing, superpowers are positioning, and right now the USA-Iran war is pushing the world toward a breaking point. Stay with me, because what you are about to understand, most people still don't. This war didn't start in 2026. It started decades ago. Proxy wars, sanctions, nuclear tensions, power struggle in the Middle East. For years, the United States and Iran have been engaged in a shadow war. But now, the shadows are gone. In late February 2026, US and Israeli forces launched coordinated airstrikes targeting Iranian nuclear enrichment facilities in Natanz and military command centers near Tehran. Within hours, Iran responded by launching ballistic missiles toward US bases in Iraq and Qatar, marking the first time in years that both sides directly attacked each other at this scale. And with that, a line that had been avoided for decades was officially crossed. Iran's response carried one clear message: if we burn, the region burns with us. Understand this clearly. This is not like Russia versus Ukraine. This is not a regional skirmish. This war has three dangerous dimensions. Direct superpower involvement, where the United States, the world's strongest military, is now actively conducting sustained operations, deploying additional aircraft carriers into the Persian Gulf, and increasing troop presence across key bases. Iran, on the other hand, is strategic, unpredictable, and backed by proxies. And behind the scenes, Russia has increased diplomatic and intelligence coordination with Iran. China has called for de-escalation while quietly securing its energy interest. And Europe is scrambling to prevent an energy crisis. This is a global chessboard. The second dimension is the proxy network explosion. Iran is not fighting alone. Hezbollah has intensified rocket fire along Israel's northern border. Houthi forces in Yemen have launched drone and missile attacks targeting oil tankers in the Red Sea. And Iranian-backed militias in Iraq have struck US installations repeatedly. This means the battlefield is not one country. The battlefield is an entire region. The third dimension is economic warfare. This is where it hits you directly, because this war is not just fought with missiles. It is fought with oil supply disruption, trade choke points, and sanctions. And the biggest weapon is the Strait of Hormuz. Let's simplify this. Around 20% of the world's oil passes through one narrow route, the Strait of Hormuz. In the past few weeks, multiple oil tankers have reported harassment, temporary seizures, and navigation blockades by Iranian naval forces. Insurance costs for shipping through the region have surged, and several global shipping companies have already rerouted vessels. Now imagine that route gets fully blocked. What happens? Oil prices explode, petrol becomes expensive, transportation costs rise, inflation skyrockets, and suddenly your daily life becomes more expensive. This is why the US Navy has increased its presence in the region and warned Iran against any full blockade. And this is why Iran is using it as leverage. This is not just a strategy, this is economic warfare at a global scale. Now let's talk about what is happening right now. Massive strikes and retaliation. In just a few weeks, the US has conducted thousands of targeted air strikes, hitting missile launch sites, air defense systems, and military infrastructure across Iran. Iran has responded with waves of ballistic missiles and drones, some intercepted, some hitting strategic targets. Reports have confirmed damage to key infrastructure, including energy facilities and transport hubs. This is no longer controlled escalation. This is rapid intensification. At the same time, a civilian crisis is unfolding. In multiple Iranian cities, power outages and fuel shortages have been reported. Hospitals are struggling and civilians are fleeing high-risk zones. Families are running, not knowing if they will survive the night. And yet, this rarely trends long enough on social media. Another critical dimension is cyber warfare. Major cyber attacks have targeted financial systems, government websites, and communication networks on both sides. There have been disruptions in banking operations and temporary blackouts in digital infrastructure. The war is now both physical and digital. Here is where things get terrifying. Wars like this don't stay contained, they expand. Already tensions between Israel and Hezbollah are rising toward full confrontation. Gulf countries like Saudi Arabia and the UAE are on high alert, strengthening defense systems and coordinating with US forces. NATO has increased surveillance and preparedness in the region. If even one of these escalations crosses a threshold, if Israel fully enters, if Gulf nations are directly attacked, if global alliances activate, then this stops being a regional war. It becomes a global conflict. And history has shown us world wars don't start with announcements. They start with escalations like this. While you are scrolling reels, watching entertainment, the world order is shifting. Oil markets are reacting. Global trade routes are being reconsidered. Defense budgets are increasing. Alliances are being tested. Currencies, power, and influence are all being recalibrated in real time. And the harsh truth is that most people will react too late, but a few will prepare early. This war teaches one brutal principle: stability is an illusion. At any moment, markets can crash, opportunities can shift, entire industries can change. So the real question is not what is happening in the world. The real question is, are you prepared for it? Right now, a leader is making a decision that could affect millions. A missile is being launched that could change history. And somewhere, a normal person just like you is caught in between power and destruction. This is the reality of our world. Not fair, not predictable, not stable. If you want to stay ahead of global events, not confused, not misled, subscribe to at manishsirg, because here you don't just watch news, you understand power. If you want to build a mindset that thrives in chaos, dominates uncertainty, register now at evolevex.com, because weak men panic in crisis, prepared men rise. And if you are planning your career, education, or global future, connect with vidyainfinity.com, because in a changing world, the right decision can change your entire life trajectory. This war is not over. In fact, it may just be beginning. Stay aware, stay sharp, stay ahead, because in today's world, ignorance is no longer safe.